Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, and also sponsored by Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Megan Schaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A., Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles in Plano and Castle Hills locations, and by Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions. The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It's 11:32 on a delightful Wednesday morning. Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances and offering tailored small business solutions. At the Enfuego Group, we're not just about financial freedom. We're also passionate about empowering aspiring entrepreneurs to break free from corporate America. So I invite you to join in our mission to ignite the fire for freedom and help you to live life on fire. Let's get to it today. It is a changing of the seasons, changing of the month. We are now in October. For some people, that's their favorite month of the year. Mine is November and December. But we have a new topic, brand relevance, the overlooked piece to effective branding. If you've been following us the last couple of months, we talked about differentiation, the art of standing out in a crowded market. In August, we talked about developing effective top-of-mind strategies. And this one really culminates in those two things, or I should say those two things culminate in brand relevance, because we exist in a very saturated marketplace for the most part. Most of our businesses are competing, or they're in the midst of others that are doing the exact same thing. And so what we're going to talk about in our second segment is really building that relevance, going beyond just recognizing our brand, but more about forging deep emotional connections with our consumers, with our clients, with our customers. And so our second segment here will start about 12:05. So stick around for that. But in order to kick the show off, I got to bring in our incredible co-host. Let's start with Lauren Gill, an enthusiast of fun, culture, and unique experiences, driven by a passion for creating lifelong memories through travel. She specializes in meeting and incentive trips to Europe, all-inclusives in Mexico, the Caribbean, Hawaii, and cruises, both river and ocean. What personal travel experience, I can attest to that. Her knowledge to her clients, she excels at designing personalized, complex itineraries that cater to specific needs of her travelers and enjoys giving back to the community, frequently curating travel packages for nonprofits for use in auctions and supporting their fundraising efforts. Please welcome to the show this morning with My Live Love Travel, Lauren Gill.
What an intro.
Well, thank you. I stayed up all night working on it, so I hope you liked it.
I like it. Thank you so much.
I'm kidding. It took about 5 seconds, but still, that's okay.
I know.
What are you? What's? I know you just got back from. You were stranded in Mexico.
No,
correct? Florida. You're stranded in Florida.
Yeah, with the hurricane.
Because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Now you're back. Okay, good. I'm glad you're safe. I know a lot of people have been very, obviously lost their lives and put out billions of dollars in damage. So I know you were doing some trying to figure out, maybe, I guess, some new locations for your clients to go to, and then you get hit with a hurricane. So we're glad you made it back safely. What was that experience like?
You know what? I have to say that I was fortunate in this regard. My heart goes out to all the folks that had a much different experience than I did. At the end of the day, my flight was canceled. I had to walk up 7 flights of stairs to get to my hotel room because the elevator didn't work. I mean, minor inconveniences at the end of the day compared to
Yeah.
what a lot of other folks are dealing with now. So my heart goes out to
Well,
them.
yeah, perspective is always a good thing to keep in mind, and so that's good. Well, let's bring in your cohort, your partner in crime with PBJ Mortgage, a native Texan of 20 years experience in the lending industry. She's committed to educating and empowering clients throughout the home ownership process. Her goal is to make mortgages as simple and accessible as possible, ensuring that clients feel supported during one of their biggest financial decisions. With a straightforward approach, she and her team at PBJ Mortgage are dedicated to simplifying the mortgage process for homeowners, helping them achieve their goals with confidence. With PBJ Mortgage, Jax Crider.
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
You're looking bright today with your, is that a coral shirt? I can't tell.
It is. Lauren may have helped me with that purchase.
Okay, well, good. That's good. So you already, nothing says friendship like shopping together. So that's important. That's
exactly.
Very good. What are you most excited about? What do you have coming up, Jax?
Oh, I like when it gets cooler because I'm a soup girly. So all the soups, it will be Croctober for sure. My crock pot will be out and it will just be working hard all month, guys, all month.
I know that's probably
that.
a thing that you didn't invent, but I really like that. That's
I know.
I
was going to say, one of my things that I get a bunch of recipes and stuff from, they started calling it Croctober, and I was like, yes. I was like, that's it.
Right?
That's the word, Croctober.
It doesn't have as much of a ring as Croc Timber doesn't sound quite as good as Croctober. No. So
plus in Texas in September, it's still like 100 degrees.
That's very fair.
True.
And one time at Halloween, it was 92, I remember. So you never know what will happen here.
I know. I always say, because I've been here forever, that you just don't even know if you're going to be wearing heavy coats or you're going to be stripping off to practically nothing at Halloween. You're not really sure.
Well, I'm happy that at least it's in the 60s in the mornings. That's I can live with that. So
definitely,
even though it's still getting toasty in the afternoons, it's okay. Let's bring in our first guest today. With Jackie Carl Coaching and Speaking. She's a master certified mindset coach with over 20 years of leadership experience across corporate, nonprofit, and sales organizations. As a successful entrepreneur, devoted wife, and mom of 2 young children, she balances personal and professional life with ease. Drawing from a background as the daughter of an emergency room MD and her own experience as a top sales leader, she understands the emotional toll that demanding environments can have on individuals and families. Her passion lies in equipping people with practical mindset tools to navigate challenges effectively and efficiently and achieving a balance of peace and success in all areas of life, specifically now as she's working kind of intently, specifically with healthcare professionals. So if that's you in that space, definitely somebody to talk to. Please welcome to the show, Jackie Carl.
Hello.
Jackie, good morning. Good morning. So excited to have you this morning. What are you most excited about? What do you have going on?
Well, I have a lot going on. I am most excited about this new, you mentioned in my intro that I'm making a specific shift into this, specific niche. And I am really excited about it because this is an area that I can personally relate to and find myself totally geeking out over education around it. So I know this is where I want to be, and I have just a huge passion for serving in this way. So I'm really excited about it.
A lot of healthcare people that I know seem like they're constantly stressed and on the move. So I'm sure that you can help them in some capacity. So I know that's going to be a good thing for you and for them. Let's bring in our second guest with the Hershenberg Group. Hershenberg Group, Real Brokers. Michael Hershenberg is the founder of the Hershenberg Group, a premier luxury real estate firm in North Texas. His team recognized for breaking records across DFW through their expertise in luxury real estate and their deep understanding of the local market. The Hershenberg Group offers a wide range of real estate services, from helping clients find their dream home to guiding them through the buying and selling process. With years of experience and a dedication to excellence, Michael and his team are committed to helping clients achieve their home ownership goals. Michael, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here.
I think I got your name right once, and I butchered it twice, so I'm not sure. So halfway, I missed a syllable on one of those, but I think I recovered. So my apologies. Welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. What do you have going on? What are you excited about coming up this week?
Most excited this time of the year, going into October, November, and December. Cooler weather for the bike trails here locally, so really kind of
Amen.
gearing up
Amen.
my weekly bike routes, and then already planning for some winter vacations out on the ski trails.
That reminds me, I need to get my bike tuned up at Richardson Bike Mart, which is where I usually go, but that's another story. Well, very good. We're going to go to break here in a moment. Just before we do, I want to tease a couple of special guests and bring in Sergeant Babb as well as Marco Von Wales. Marco's the Plano Fire Department. Sergeant Babb is a second-time guest, a friend of the show, and so they're going to be sharing some amazing updates here just after the commercial break. So we'll stick around, and then we'll start What's Up Plano here. So enjoy these commercials, and we'll be right back with you.
The Community Difference Plano is made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Schoffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A., and by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
That's right. What's Up Plano? One of our favorite segments where we talk about all things that you can know as a citizen and business owner of the great city of Plano, the city of excellence. But first, our sponsor, Leavenworth in Texas. Get ready to experience the true heart of Texas at Leavenworth in Texas, in Plano. Favorite authentic Texas cuisine from barbecue and wild game to both seafood, all while enjoying live music from some of the states. Whether you're craving a taste of the Lone Star State or looking for a fun night out, this iconic spot has it all. Visit Leavenworth in Texas and discover why it's the perfect blend of Texas flavor and spirit. You can join us at Leavenworth in Texas on October 24th. That will be our Business Development Alliance in person meeting, a training. We'll have a happy hour after that, and then we look forward to seeing you out there. More details to come on the Community Difference Business Development Alliance page, as well as the Community Difference page. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things that are going on. Usually, can you guys hear me okay, Lauren, Jack? Everybody good?
I can right now, but you are sounding a little choppy for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me, hopefully that clears up here. I want to just touch on something and kind of get you guys can chime in. Normally we keep our stories to local, but there's obviously a big issue that's beginning to affect the entire country, and that's the port strike that just started on October 1st. 45,000 dock workers, 36 ports, including the major hubs of New York, Los Angeles, and Houston, of course, our closest port. The reason for the strike, the ILA workers, that union, they're seeking higher wages, obviously protection against job automation, which is something to be worried about if you're a worker. Obviously, I think that's a vital concern. What is the impact for Texans? Well, being close to that major hub, it's likely to affect us pretty heavily, trickling down over the next couple of weeks. And so anywhere from delayed shipments, price increases, product shortages, et cetera. And then, of course, impact on business could affect some financial, causing prices to increase, et cetera. So what do we do? That's really the question. Well, stockpiling is one thing, but I want to encourage us to not go crazy, right? We saw this during COVID. Everyone went up, bought toilet paper. Turns out that was not even what we really needed. That was crazy. You might need some of those home goods and textiles, but just try to get enough for a month, a couple months, because if you go in there and everything's gone, then 5 people were helped and everybody else is screwed. So let's try to take a deep breath. Okay, we'll get through this. It's not the end of the world. It's an inconvenience, and it will be maybe frustrating for a little while, but let's try to keep our civility during this process. Okay, so get what you need. Try to help your neighbor out. Try to help each other. Let's come together as a community and do what we can to help each other during this process. As a business owner, you may look at diversifying your supply chains, perhaps looking for other areas to get some of the supplies that you need that may not yet be affected or may kind of have some sort of resilience from the strike. I don't know if that's even possible, but these are some things that you need to be monitoring, and just make sure you're staying atop of the news, right? A good trusted news source. I'm not telling you which news to choose, but just make sure you're monitoring the situation, knowing what's best for your business, what's best for your family throughout that process. And we will get through this. We had gas shortages, we had COVID, we had every catastrophe you can imagine, and we always come through it. So let's just make sure that we're keeping a level head and looking out for our neighbor and our community as we're working to solve this problem together, and praying that there could be some agreement between the workers and those that are in charge of their wages. All right, Jax, give us some updates. Got some exciting things coming up here in the month of October.
Absolutely. So first, there is kind of like a Halloween party, a trunk or treat, if you will. So if you guys have got littles, definitely come out. It's going to be at Assembly Park. It's going to be October 19th from 5:30 to 7. There's going to be a free movie afterwards, tons of candy. So dress your little ones up, come out and see the different businesses, collect some candy, and just have a really great time. It's a good time to meet some people local in your community, as well as do some fun stuff for the kids. There is also a Sunday craft market. It happens the first Sunday of every month. It's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be at the Fowling Warehouse, which is on 14th Street downtown. There in Plano. So they've got all different kinds of cool stuff going on, especially in the month of October. It looks like they're going to be doing some like pumpkin painting and things like this. This was actually something, this is why it's important to be involved in our community, guys. This was something that was put on our Facebook page for the Community Difference. So if you have an event you'd like highlighted, please make sure that you let us know. But this is going to be, like I said, for the next 3 months, there's going to be a craft fair going on. So
very good. Well, those are some exciting things. We love Halloween. We love this month. Thank you for, we often, every month we put on our Facebook page, Community Difference Plano, hey, what are some things you have going on? And so we'd like to highlight those. We really will highlight them like we say we will. So that's exciting. And then, of course, we want to get to the majority of our time left to Sergeant Babb and Marco as well. So, Lauren, I'll turn it over to you to introduce them.
Yeah, Sergeant Babb and Marco, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Sergeant Babb is a return guest from last month, and we're super excited for this partnership. And I understand you have some pro tips and updates for us.
I do. With Halloween coming up, of course, one of the things we'd like to get you to consider when picking out a costume is things like, I know Marco will agree with me on this, is flame-resistant costumes. Things that don't hamper your vision, things that are not tripping hazards. And of course, the best costumes are going to be the ones with some sort of reflective material on them, because of course, traffic is going to be out that night too. Always carry a flashlight with you on Halloween, because I can tell you from walking around in the dark many years, there's a lot of tripping hazards that are not going to be your costume.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if I can plug a few things coming up, if you don't mind, I know you guys have spoken about our fentanyl forum coming up this Saturday, the 5th at Chase Oaks Church from 10 to 2. Also, we have the International Festival that's going to be on the 19th. So you can come out to the International Festival at Haggard Park from 11 to 5. And then you can go over to the trunk or treat that Jax just talked about. That may be what I'm doing. I'm not sure yet. Also, on the 26th, we have our drug take-back program. So if you have those old prescriptions sitting around, I happened across one in my medicine cabinet that was tucked way back in the back that was from my previous address. And just for a little bit of focus, I've been in my house for 15 years. So I'll be bringing that one with me. We'll be at all schools in the East, in the senior high, Clark, Plano West. We've also added another location this year, which is going to be Bowman Middle School. So if anyone
Okay.
appeal to you, come on out. The only things that we do not take are aerosols and needles. But other than that, we'll take it and have it destroyed by the DEA for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So what I'm hearing is Plano West, and you said Bowdoin?
Plano East,
Bowdoin.
Plano Senior High, Clark High School, Plano West, and then those have been done for years. This year, we're working with our neighborhood services for Love Where You Live, and we've added a fifth location this year, which is Bowman Middle School.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those updates with us, and thankful that we have the opportunity to, safely get rid of those unneeded narcotics and things of that nature.
Sergeant
Marco.
Babb, I will say
sorry.
that you've made me have to rethink all of my Halloween costumes, so I'm gonna have to start from scratch because
Okay,
all of them.
we got one down.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to do better. We'll see what I can come up with. But hey, better safe than sorry. So thank you so much, Lauren.
Yeah,
Sorry
I
to
think we
interrupt
need
you.
to see some pictures. No, it's all good. We need to see some pictures, Nathan, if you're still dressing up.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Marco Banuelos is visiting today from the Plano Fire Department. We're so thankful to have you here and hope that you, like Sergeant Babb, will continue to visit and participate on our podcast. And so today, I just wanted to find out, what is your role with the Plano Fire Department with the community engagement piece?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I have spent the last 31 years in a fire station, and I just moved to community outreach and education. So now I'm in office, and it's a new experience for me. We schedule all of the public education programs that we do in schools. We schedule all the training, CPRs, fire extinguisher training, fall prevention with the adults older than 50 crowd. We do fire warden training, everything in the fire department that doesn't require a fire hose. Community outreach takes care of it for you.
That's awesome. What are some ways that our podcast can help to drive those missions forward?
Well, since you do have a large corporate audience, we would just like to let them know that we do offer fire warden training for your corporate office, which I know a lot of offices have. They have fire wardens on each floor of multi-story buildings. We also do offer CPR. It's a hands-only AED class, which is an automated external defibrillator. So we don't do mouth-to-mouth anymore. This is really just cut and dry, let's save people's lives CPR, and it's very, very effective. I recently just left the field since June, and the last 4 CPRs I had before I came here were all successes, solely based on the fact that some bystander started CPR before we got there. So if you in your group in your audience want to learn this hands-only CPR, give us a call. Let us know. We will show up to your business. We have all the equipment, and we would love for everyone in Plano to get involved with this hands-only CPR. I would like to mention your chance of survival if you have a heart attack or any cardiac event here in Plano is about 58% chance of survival, which is at least 20% higher than the rest of the nation. And I really believe that it has to do a lot with our medical director, Dr. Mark Amber, and our fire department, and all the people that participate and are willing to help out. I think Plano, you're just very fortunate if you have a cardiac event in Plano that you have all these opportunities. Plus, we're surrounded by all these great hospitals. And of course, I'm going to brag, our fire department is outstanding. So we're going to help you out. So yes, all of your audience, if you would like information, just give us a call, reach out. Our website has all the information, and you can reach out, and we'd be happy to help you.
Wonderful. That is a great resource for us. And then are there any events that are taking place in the month of October that we should be aware of?
So October is Fire Prevention Month, and we are extremely busy. So every school likes to have a school visit during Fire Prevention Month. And so we are out in the schools. We're at all the high schools, all the middle schools, all of the preschools, all the private schools. We are doing programs left and right every day. We're going out, talking to the children, giving them a program. You know, the what number to call in case of emergency. What do you do if your clothes catch on fire? Have 2 ways out of every room in your house. You know, have a meeting place. Practice fire drills at your home. Check your smoke detectors. Those kind of things. We're really trying to get that message out during Fire Prevention Month. I'd like to echo a lot of what Sergeant Babb had to say. Choosing your costumes is extremely important. Be careful. The dark colors, everybody likes to wear dark colors. It's easy to get lost. Please, like Sergeant Babb said, have a flashlight. Always have, you know, neon, the neon, you know, those neon sticks that you break and you make necklaces out of. Please wear those. Those are great costumes, and they also help your parents find you. I also want to mention for everybody that has yard decorations, please do not overload your outlets, okay? Get long extension cords and spread it out to other outlets. Try not to overload one outlet, okay? It's very dangerous, and, you know, please don't leave them on overnight. There's no reason to have your lights and stuff, your blow-ups all, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's unnecessary. So, and it's not safe. So just be careful.
Thank you so much.
3 things, if I can jump in real quick, Marco. First of all, the Plano Fire Department has been awesome. You know, my son is big. He loves fire trucks, and we have one over there on Shiloh and Shiloh and Jupiter area, or Shiloh and 14th. Yeah. And just always open, letting him go and check it out and the tour the fire station. And you'll be happy to know that I was actually at my previous job before I shook off my corporate chains. I was a fire warden for our job, for my job. So it was fun. I didn't have to kick my skills into action. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
It was a lot of fun. So it's very good, and it is simple, and it's, you know, it's good to have somebody who knows what to do in certain emergencies. So Marco, thank you so much. We look forward to having you on again. Obviously, Sergeant Babb. Where are you? Are you at a station? Or where are you at?
So I work at administration, which is connected to Station 1, which is
right
on
there in
1901.
Yes, I know right where that is. Yeah, we passed.
So I'm in the office building next door.
Okay, well, we'll have to come out and see you in person.
Come say hello.
Well, Lauren, thank you to Jax and Lauren for setting this up with Sergeant Babb and Marco. Appreciate you guys. I know we'll see you again on the show. When we come back, we'll dive into our topic today, brand relevance. We'll get straight to that. So enjoy these commercials, and we'll be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
You're muted.
That's weird. I thought I unmuted and then I muted. That's strange. Welcome back. We're going to jump into our topic today, brand relevance, the overlooked piece to effective branding. As I mentioned in the open, we exist in a very saturated market. Most of our organizations, most of our businesses. And so building that relevance goes beyond just recognition. It goes to the deeper connection that we're making with our customers. And so we've got to tap into those core human needs, societal values, the values of our customers, and just kind of an evolving culture as long as it continues to align with our values. You certainly don't want to compromise your own values to be relevant, but always want to know where the market's shifting and what things are important to consumers. So let's start there because I think at least the traditional view of branding or having a brand was simply the recognition. Like, yes, that's the Nike swoosh. I see that. Okay, I know what that is. But what about beyond that, right? What about relevance? You see, Nike's a great example. Whether you agree with their marketing, you might not like their stance and think that's totally fine. Or look at Apple, right? These are companies that evolve. They have something to say about what's going on in the world, in society. Now, which means they're always top of mind, right? See how these things go together, right? If you have a relevant brand, then your top of mind strategies are going to be right in the mix of what those that leads to your relevance, if that makes sense. So let's start with this question for everybody. What does your brand mean to your customers, right? To your consumers, to your clients, on a personal level? Okay. Are you selling a product, a solution, or are you or a solution to an unspoken need? Let me say that again. Are you selling a product or a solution to an unspoken need? And this again speaks to just, or do people recognize what you do, or do they see the relevance of what you do? Anybody can start there. I'm gonna call in somebody too if we.
I was gonna say, so
Jax, get in there.
Mortgage is very saturated, right? So it is very hard. And I would say that as opposed to selling a product, or financial service, we are really trying to work to do an unspoken need, which is, where you are at as far as where you want to be. And a house is usually one of those big financial pieces of your puzzle. So what we're trying to solve is helping you define, success financially through home ownership. And we want to make sure that that is coming from a transformational space, not a transactional one, right? Not like, oh, hey, we're just this arbitrator of this one transaction. We want to help you succeed on a broader scale. And we want to do that through simplifying things, helping you understand, educating you. And that's sort of where our brand piece plays in, if you will.
Yeah. So, and I think, as a brand strategy in the mortgage world, that's something that, not everybody does, but a lot of people are doing, simplifying the lending process, providing excellent customer service throughout the home ownership journey. Those are kind of, those are good things to do, but I would challenge you to ask the question about going even deeper. And what I mean by that is like looking at your brand as a way to highlight the emotional, maybe financial impact of home ownership, and position yourself as somebody that empowers people to achieve that kind of long-term stability and success with that purchase. Right, going deeper, making that connection, and that kind of goes back to I think an often overlooked concept when it comes to brand relevance, and that's something that we call feedback loops. In other words, how often are we talking to our customers? How often are we talking to our clients regarding, what's important to them, the process that they went through? How is that in your case? How is that home working out, right? Or there's some things that should be different, right? And using that insight, whether it be through AI, whether it be through personal conversation, to affect the way that we present ourselves and who we are and what we do, which of course is going to open us up to a broader market when we are in touch with the needs of maybe an evolving client base. Jackie, to you, and I'm calling to Jackie now. This is going to get me in trouble today. So anytime I say Jackie, I'm actually recurring. So inside story, Jax gets frustrated, kind of jokingly, but slightly seriously, if we call her Jackie and not Jack or Jacqueline. So every time I say Jackie, which is actually your name, Jackie, I'm going to feel like I'm doing something wrong.
And I don't love being called Jax, so it's a win.
There you go. It works out perfectly. So let's start with you. Same question to you. Well, actually, let me go a little bit in a different way. Talking about the relevance over recognition. How do you go beyond coaching, just offering kind of the mindset tips and the things that you do, which are very important, to instead creating kind of a lasting emotional and call it psychological transformation for your clients, whether it be physically or professionally, which again is going to enhance the relevance of what you're doing and not just, I know what Jackie does. Does that make sense?
Yes. For me, I would say, first of all, I want to say it was a long journey to get to this niche for me. So for any entrepreneurs out there who are trying to find your way to a specific audience, be patient with yourself. It can take a while. But to answer your question, for me, it came down to where my passion is. I am a daughter, like you said, of an ER doctor, and love him very much. He is a wonderful man and a hero, of course, in my eyes. But, being raised in the home of a burned out, stressed out ER physician was hard. It was difficult. There's just no one really talks about the impact of what happens in, say, the office or in the healthcare setting. What happens when it comes home? And there's a bunch of statistics that will point you in the direction of it's not good and it's not recognized and it's not being dealt with. I also have done extensive work around generational cycles of crime. I was the executive director of a women's prison ministry, single mothers coming out of incarceration and their children. I did that for a couple of years. And so my passion is really around stopping toxic generational cycles and behaviors, especially in healthcare, because that's an area that I believe needs all the help that we can get. I mean, I hope that my industry is super saturated because our healthcare heroes need help. So my answer to that question would be, really just hone in on where you're passionate so that you can make that connection with your audience and say, I may not be exactly in your space, but here's my story related to your space. And here's where I can, find the solutions for you. And so.
Well, it's interesting because the nature of what you do is about transformation, right? Yes. And so it's almost impossible for you to be transactional because that would be defeating of your purpose and your goal. But I think what we can learn from that is that all of us should be positioning our brand through whatever, through our top of mind strategies, through storytelling, through the things that we do that give us, that present to our audience the real authentic self, that we're going to bring you from one place to another. And that's going to be a transformation, whether it be physical, mental, whether it be financial, whether it be from being in an apartment to being a homeowner, whether living in Louisville to going to some exotic beach, in Mexico, Lauren, wherever that looks like. And so I think that's really important that you, Jackie, by the nature of what you do, have built kind of a purpose driven brand in a sense, if that makes sense. Michael, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
We talk about brand awareness, which is, okay, I know what the brand is. I know what they do. What's the difference to you between brand awareness and brand familiarity, or excuse me, awareness and relevance? What's the difference between brand awareness and brand relevance to you?
Well, if I was looking at brand awareness, I'm looking at essentially my audience. And so if I'm looking at people coming in and, wanting to buy or sell a home for the first time, and they're looking at my brand for the first time, what differentiates my brand versus another? So I like to, elevate my brand and make it aligned with, everything luxury. Even though a part of my business sells, $300,000 and $400,000 homes, I have another part of my business that sells, $4 and $5 and $10 and $20 and $30 million homes. And so I try to kind of let them know that that I guess the presentation or the final presentation that's going back to the consumer is going to be at its very best every time.
So how does that affect kind of because, we all talk about know, like, and trust factor, building the right type of relationships. One of the things that small businesses have a leg up on, I believe, than maybe a larger business is kind of a localized relevance, right? We can become a pillar in our community if we create the right relevance, okay? If we create the right relationships where, whether it's not, maybe someone doesn't need to buy a house, but your brand, Michael, is such that people know that you're a source of information, of education, of service, of connection, whatever that looks like. I want to bring in Lyndon here, who produces our show, the godfather of the difference. He actually will be the one doing our business development training here starting next Thursday and in person on October 24th. And, these topics are such an important part of his journey. He's been in business development a long time, and so this is a passion project for him and educating. So I know he wanted to kind of jump in on this topic.
So I want to just thank you, Nathan. I want to just ask everybody, what does branding mean to you? When you hear the word branding, and take it away from just take your business completely out of the mindset. When you're thinking of another company, whatever that company is, whether it's Nike, whether it's Chevrolet, whatever, what do you think when you think of branding? And I want to start with Lauren. I'm going to go to everybody. I want to start with Lauren on this one.
Thank you. You know what? I've been thinking through a lot of this, and going back to what you were sharing, Nathan, I think to be relevant, you don't have to be large. And so to be brand aware or brand familiarity, that could be like Starbucks or Nike, but that's not necessarily what's going to matter the most. So for me, going back to just thinking, sorry, I lost my train of thought. London, ask the question again.
So when you think of a brand, let's go to Starbucks. When you think of Starbucks brand, not the logo, but their brand, what comes to mind?
It's what's going to be like, I want to be top of mind when somebody thinks about planning travel. And so it's going to be
hold on. I don't want you to think about travel. This is about Starbucks. When you hear Starbucks, what do you think about Starbucks?
Coffee.
Luxury coffee.
Seattle.
Convenience.
Well, early on, I used to think, and because so many Starbucks, or go ahead.
So everybody said coffee, convenience. So what you're saying is it's customer experience. So that's the relevant part, right? I can see Starbucks logo and I know what they do, but how does that impact me? And is it trendy, right? Think about it. Why does Nike do so well? Mainly because a lot of the influencers, like Michael Jordan when he started, is it trendy to do business with that brand?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? What are each one of you doing now to make it trendy? And I love this because it's going to be a great question for Jax, because mortgage and insurance and a lot of those, it's hard to make things sexy with a brand, right?
We're not
Yeah.
sexy. I say it all the time. When Hershenberg is sexy, we're not sexy. We're the boring part of the transaction. Super
But
necessary.
here's the thing. When you figure out how to make it sexy, because it doesn't necessarily have to do with mortgage. Your brand is what you do. It's not who you are. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Your brand is who you are, not just what you do. So how is your brand, number one, being seen, being heard, being remembered, right? You got to do that if you're going to have a good brand. If no one knows who you are, you don't have a brand at all. So how can you make your brand, each one of you, trendy so that people want to do business with you and they want to tell everybody they're doing business with you? That's the big part right there, right? As a small business owner with a limited marketing budget, everybody that does business needs to want to tell everybody they did business with you.
I think beyond the know, like, and trust, the service aspect that we can each provide, I think it's also seeking feedback and wanting to know what their experience has been like. A new question that I'm asking is, what can I do for you that will be most helpful? Where it's open-ended and it's something that they have to think about. It ties into the emotional aspect of it without me feeding them what I want to hear possibly. So outside of, I think the communication piece and seeking that feedback is really critical.
I like that because I think it's very important. You know, we talked about this on previous shows about how your clients will teach you how to build a brand if you're asking them, right? And one of the things that I always did before is, what did you like that I did? What could I have done better? And when you've dealt with someone before, what did you like what they did and what could they have done better?
That's a great question. And I think a lot, and tell me if you agree with this, Lyndon, I think a lot of your relevance is, and your brand is built not more around the things that you share and do and are about that don't necessarily even have to do with your exact business, right? We talked about like going back to differentiation. Like, are you someone that stands out for other things besides mortgage or financial services or travel? Are you a resource? And I think that if you become that, especially in the community, right, that localized relevance, if you're recognized as a pillar of the community, then that's going to be trendy, because whether or not, Jax is signing a mortgage with somebody or someone signing a mortgage with Jax, they're still doing some sort of business with her, whether it be a connection or networking or whatever that looks like. And that builds a relevance, because I can go to Jax for multiple things. I can go to Michael for multiple things. I can go to Lauren for multiple things, not just exactly what they do. And so would you agree with that assessment, that it goes beyond just the thing that you do?
100%. How is your brand impacting your community? Right? I mean, if people can look at PBJ Mortgage that aren't even thinking about getting a mortgage, and they respect it because of all the things PBJ Mortgage does for the community, when they do get ready to get a mortgage, they're probably going to go to PBJ Mortgage first, right? And I think that the relevance comes into play when we realize that, is our brand gaining the attention of people that don't want or need the product we're selling right now?
That's great. Well, we've got to, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, I like the fact that he said gaining the attention. And what I see is, the minute that, a company or organization makes an alignment with putting marketing out that allows that customer base to get a feel or a taste of what the experience is going to look like, for me, that's when the magic happens. And they can make an alignment and make a connection, and it allows me to really keep my ears open at all times to find out what that customer is wanting in that moment or at that time. And when I might have to shift and pivot my marketing to make a little bit more of an alignment with that new customer base coming in, so that I don't miss the boat and I have an ability to make that connection with that customer base coming in.
Well, that's a great point. And what, as I'm thinking through this, if you look at the topics that we've discussed, really the last 4 or 5 months, but going back to top of mind strategies and differentiation in August, and obviously this topic, everything hinges on stepping outside of what we do as a business owner and stepping into a relationship with the community, whether it be citizens, other business owners, et cetera. And I think if you start anywhere in your small business, you will never harm yourself by building more relationships with the community. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in our next segment. But because the truth of the matter is, like, specifically, I mean, travel is pretty sexy, but mortgages and financial, even some parts of real estate, not necessarily sexy. And so we've got to realize that we need to be known and trusted for things outside of our niche, and then it'll be kind of second nature to trust us within our niche because we've built that relevance as being an authority elsewhere, which is very important. So, guys, thank you so much. I enjoyed the conversation. This is just week 1. We're going to expand on this, obviously go into much more detail over the coming 3 weeks. Let's go to commercial break. When we come back, we'll dive in deeper with Jackie and Michael. Stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
We are Cloud Staff, enabling remarkable growth for businesses everywhere with our pioneering enterprise-grade remote work solutions. We are on a mission to help business owners scale while reducing costs by matching you with an amazing staff, mobilizing your team, and helping manage business performance, making us the #1 workplace as remote work gets done. Connect with us to access the world's top talent and discover how we can enable remarkable growth for your business.
And now, back to the show.
Welcome back. We're going to do a little bit deeper dive with Michael and Jackie, but it goes hand in hand with our previous topic because we were talking about the importance of getting involved within your community, and I don't mean just from a nonprofit or volunteer standpoint. That's obviously a good thing, but just becoming, through building relationships, somebody that can be relied on or looked to as an authority figure on a number of things. That's only going to help your relevance and people, thinking about you when it comes time to do the things that you actually do as a business owner. So I'll start with you, Michael. First of all, what drew you to the Plano community? But more importantly, how do you recommend people get involved with their community? Maybe you're a new business owner, maybe you just moved to the area. Where's some good places to start and some successes that you've had?
I would say, listen for where the need is. We had success at our local church. I lived in the Flower Mound area for about 8 years, and I've been plugging in with the Village Church for over 15 years. Okay. And, I always plugged into, their organization that reached out to Feed the Hungry. I always thought that was a big need. My father is a pastor as well, and he had, they have one of the largest Feed the Hungry organizations in the state of Hawaii, which has the largest homeless population in the country. And so that has always been just something that I love to give back to folks that are, on the poverty line, looking for school supplies for their kids. Like the more the need in that direction, the more, I'm focused to help that need. And I'm bringing in, different financial partners or donors to help with that.
Yeah. So identifying areas of opportunity needs, I think that's a great place to start. Jackie, to you, what advice would you give to someone wanting to get involved locally?
Gosh, honestly, I just, again, going back to your own story, going back to what really moves you, where you can look back in your life and go, I wish someone were available to help me with this. So my personal, tie to this is I'm a childhood sexual assault victim. And I have actually this past Friday, I hosted a workshop around, becoming a triumph over your trauma. And I
love how you said Victor.
Victor.
I love that.
That was a me term. Yes.
That's
I love
great.
that too.
That's good for
Thank
you.
you.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much. And, it's a dark place. It's very quiet in that space. And I actually reached out to the Dallas Area Rape Crisis Center and asked if I could offer speaking, any kind of resources or tools that I can offer them based on what my area of expertise is and how I can serve them. And, I hope to be one of the panelists on one of their speaker bureaus, because I now train people how to think differently around traumatic events, which plays heavily into working with healthcare workers as well. So my advice is to be just true to exactly who you are and what your past experiences were or current experiences are, where you see a need that speaks to you. Google it.
And so at that point, you can kind of start building a community within a community. Then it goes beyond, specifically what you do by just finding some like-minded or like-experienced people that need kind of the healing that you've gone through. I love that. Lauren and Jax, what are some things about Plano that you really appreciate or really love? And then as a cruel twist, what would you change about Plano if you could? You're muted, Lauren.
Okay, I'm gonna go backwards. I'm still sticking with the speed limit.
Hey, I was okay. So
which is a minor thing.
Like, not here to hear you, Lauren.
I know. I'm like, Plano is a great place, so I really don't have a lot to say critical about it. I just think the speed limit needs to be 45 on every.
So you talked about
the street.
Yeah, it was about last month. You talked about the speed limit on Legacy, and 2 days later, I found myself going 50 in a 40 on Legacy, and I was thinking about you. I was like,
thank you. Yeah,
it just feels like it should be faster.
Nathan.
It should be.
You're right. If you get pulled over, that I want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll call Sergeant Bab. Maybe he can help me out.
Right. But what I think is neat about Plano, I've lived in Texas since 1990, so don't do any math, but and originally settled in Plano. And despite the tremendous growth that we've experienced, in a lot of ways, it still feels like a small town to me. I love there is a sense of community, the infrastructure, the leadership. It's just been very thoughtful with what has come in. And so that's
especially the east
really
side of Plano, especially the east side and downtown.
I graduated from Pesh. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I think downtown Plano is super fun.
I love it.
I hope that Frisco follows along,
Jax,
Plano and McKinney's examples.
30 seconds to you, Jax.
I was just going to say that Plano did a really, really good job with the park system, specifically bike trails. So Michael can appreciate that. There's so many bike trails. We used to ride on them all the time. I will say traffic is the thing I would change. I wish that there just wasn't so much traffic because everyone has found our lovely city and has decided to show up. But otherwise, it's a pretty good place to be.
Well, the one thing about that is that we are Plano, and it can be frustrating because it seems like something's always under construction, but it's because they're always trying to make it. They don't ever let it get too far out of hand, so they're always making
on that
improvements.
Front. Yeah,
which is a good thing. We talked about they're totally redoing the Plano Event Center and make it like a hotel destination with shopping, kind of like a Legacy type thing that'll be open here in a couple of years. So they're always improving. They're always looking to bring new things to the city. And I think that's, which, as a business owner, that should excite us, because those are just more resources, more things to get involved in, more people to know, more people to connect with. And, the deeper connections we make with the people that are involved in making those decisions, the more that we might be able to actually connect with new businesses or new whoever that's coming into the city. And that's only going to help us with our brand and our relevance within the community. So let's go to break. When we come back, it's time for What's the Difference, our final segment. I'm excited about this one, so stick around. We'll be right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts, called the Community Difference Series, are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, our favorite segment as we wrap up here, What's the Difference, where I read a sentence, what's the difference between this thing and this thing? They're always business related, and then we go around and everybody gives me about 20-second answer or less. Not a long novel, not a story from your childhood, just just kind of joking, but kind of serious also.
I was going to say, whoever would do that.
I don't know. It happened one time. I don't know. No names. And then I'll give you the actual definition. And the goal of this, of course, is to help us to think and really take our thinking from a surface level to a deeper level thinking. And obviously for our listeners and our audience, both our citizens and business owners that are listening and tuning in. So number one, what's the difference between setting strategic priorities and juggling multiple tasks? The difference between setting strategic priorities and juggling multiple tasks. Michael, I'll start with you.
For me, the difference between setting strategic. There's so many different ways I could go on that. I want to kind of hear the question again, if you don't mind, just because.
What's the difference between setting strategic priorities and juggling multiple tasks?
Well, if you're being strategic about it, for me, it's, putting stuff that you can, execute on, and things that you can, take in a bite size. If you're juggling multiple tasks, you get in the weeds and you can't execute.
I like that. That's great. That's perfect. Jax.
I was going to say, so being strategic is just being more intentional. Juggling multiple tasks sounds like something you just kind of threw it together, right? Kind of flying by the seat of your pants, if you will.
Lauren?
Okay.
Intentionality and planning. Running like your pants are on fire, or actually being thoughtful about what you are doing and how you're spending your time.
Jackie, you're at an advantage going last, but go ahead.
The strategic priorities means to me being very focused on doing the activities that will lead to the results you actually want in your business.
Okay. I like
doing tasks can sometimes mean that you are procrastinating, which could be a mindset block, different things like that. So tasks just as busy work.
Right.
You might feel like you're being productive, but you've got to ask yourself, are you really doing the action that you need to do in order to get the results you want?
You guys are actually all around the definition, very, very close. Here's the official definition. Setting strategic priorities involves identifying and focusing on the most critical activities that align with long-term objectives. Juggling multiple tasks often leads to spreading your attention too thin, which can potentially compromise the quality and impact of your work. Second question, I'll start with Jackie on this one. What's the difference between leading with a vision and managing by objectives? What's the difference between leading with a vision and managing by objectives?
Leading with a vision is seeing a long-term path that you and your team need to follow. Like there's a larger goal at stake.
Okay.
So you're working towards a larger goal. And it could be, a couple months, years down the road, but larger goal. And then what was the second?
Managing by objectives.
Managing by objectives just sounds like you're checking boxes.
Okay.
You're like showing up to the meeting and, sending the email and like check.
Okay. Lauren?
Yeah, I think the first has to do with being able to inspire. And so it's being able to paint a picture of what that long-term goal is that we're trying to work together and run towards. And similar to what Jackie said, when it's managing objectives, it's just like KPI is just going, okay, here's what we have to do. Are you meeting expectations or not? It's not necessarily tied into that emotional aspect that's so important for achieving goals.
That's great. Jax?
I would definitely say that vision is a lot more about where you're trying to go and what your goals are, big and small, to get there. And objectives for me just seems like a task list. Maybe they are in line with, getting you to your goals and but they don't necessarily have to be. I think it would depend on what intentionality there were behind them.
Michael?
For me, it's looking at, again, the folks that are following you as a leader on where we are going, how we're going to get there, and what do we have to accomplish to get there, where the other is just trying to keep up. And I think it just would align yourself for failure.
Okay. Actually, both of these things are important. But the first question, there was kind of two. One was good, one was not so good. Both of these are actually important. Leading with vision involves inspiring others with a clear, compelling future direction, motivating them to work towards a shared goal. Managing by objectives focuses on achieving specific measurable goals within a shorter time frame. And so they're both necessary. Just understanding, when to apply one and not the other, right? That really they're both things that you need to have as an organization, but they serve a different purpose. And lastly, we're going to fly through this one. What's the difference between innovating for the future and maintaining current success? Innovating for the future and maintaining current success. Jax, let's start with you.
So this is definitely a hard one. But I will say that you have to make necessary shifts, but you can't make so many shifts that you're not as successful as you need to be in the present, right? Like if you shift everything all one time, then you're not going to remain, having success that you have right now and then growing that success. The idea of innovation is to help your success grow and to stay relevant, right?
Yeah.
Through that.
Jackie?
To me, it means really doing an audit on your business to see exactly what you need to do in order to maintain your business. So take out some of the things that are no longer efficient or no longer serving you towards growth and maintaining. And then really, listening to your audience and learning what their needs are so that you can deliver their needs going forward. So it's you got to take a little bit of one while maintaining it to allow for more room and space for the growth.
Lauren?
like that. Yeah, innovation to me is just knowing that it can be really easy to get comfortable and complacent. So looking for ways to stretch, to grow, to think outside the box, to go outside of my comfort zone, to try something new, with the hopes of it, succeeding and driving things the way that I want them to go, and with maintaining similar to, I mean, again, like Jackie's on point with a lot that she's sharing, but just going, okay, what do I need to do that, what's working, what's not, and what do I keep, stop, start, continue, what do I stop, what do I start, what do I need to keep doing?
Michael.
Yeah, for me, innovation is pushing myself past my limits, keeping relevant with what my audience is, where my audience is going. That way I can help lead the direction and stay involved. The maintaining just seems like, not really, kind of just doing the bare minimums.
So you guys kind of all touched on parts of the definition, which is great. Innovating for the future involves continuously seeking new ideas, technologies, and methods to stay competitive and relevant. Maintaining current success focuses on preserving what has already been achieved, which certainly is a necessary component, but which could lead to complacency. And so there's certainly a balance where you're looking more forward, but also making sure you're doing the things to keep things going. But if you don't look forward at all, and you just kind of sit there and say, look what we've accomplished, then all of a sudden you look up and someone's passed you by because we've just kind of settled for where we're at. And so I think that's important, not only in business, but in life, as we're trying to challenge to be the best versions of ourselves. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. Michael, Jackie, thank you so much for being on today. This is our first month of our topic, brand relevance, which is a hugely overlooked piece to effective branding. As we kind of, you heard us working through the topic today, and hopefully you guys learned some things that you want to apply to your own brand, to your own business. Thank you for Lyndon for leading that segment specifically. And so as we start to unpack that more over the next couple of weeks, I'd ask you to join in with new co-hosts and guests the second, third, fourth Wednesday at 11:30. Let's go ahead and wrap up. Michael, 30 seconds to you. What did you enjoy? What did you learn from the podcast today?
I really enjoyed, hearing the different perspectives of different local business owners, but I really enjoyed the plug for the community, most important to me. I really loved hearing ways to give an opinion on what the community is doing, but also how to plug in a little bit more to the community.
I love that. Jackie.
I would honestly say the same thing as Michael. The community piece was a great way to, serve and get better at what you're doing so you can serve better.
Jax, who I did not call Jackie.
No, you sure did not. I would definitely say that I'm enjoying to see, being obviously a co-host. It's nice to see all the weave through all the different business topics and how they kind of relate to make us better business owners and make us better community leaders as well.
Lauren?
Well, I just want to say thank you to Michael and Jackie for being on. I have tremendous respect for Jackie. We know each other through another business that we're involved in. And what I learned really is just, sorry, my phone started going off. Really, it's this opportunity for growth and how we can continue to be relevant to those that we are serving in the community and our clients. And so I'm just excited and inspired every time I'm on the podcast to learn from others and to hear different perspectives. And that's true today as well.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Michael, the more I look at you and listen to you, I feel like that I've met you before. I can't figure out where that is. I have no idea. Maybe it'll come to me when we get off the air here. But Jackie, thank you so much for being on, and Lauren and Jax, as always. I want to challenge everybody as we close the show out here to, think about kind of the example that Lyndon gave, whether it be Starbucks or something else, a brand that you like. What is it when you hear that brand, that name? What emotions, thoughts, feelings does it evoke? Okay. And then think through you and your brand. Okay. You may not be as big as Starbucks. If you're a small business, you're probably not. That's okay. But as we talked about earlier, being small can give you actually a niche relevance or an impact within the community as a pillar. So think about how those brands are relevant, what they evoke, the experiences that you get as a consumer of those brands, and then pivot that to your own brand. How are you doing the things that can evoke those same feelings or thoughts or emotions? Are you getting feedback from your clients? Are you figuring out what's important to them? Are you looking at the shifting winds of the economy and
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Schoffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. And by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.